Hey guys, this is Jack with Team Empire, and today we are back with another deck test video. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but I got a little busy with work and stuff. It was just kind of like all over the place, trying to get used to my schedule. But we're back for one more video. We're almost done with set 12, and then we're actually going to go over some set 11 decks that you can try for those of y'all in the English format, because that's coming out real soon. I'm super excited for that. But we're going to finish off set 12 with two more videos. The first one, we're covering my actual favorite deck in set 12, which is Magnolia Masques. Definitely a mask unit that I was not expecting, but a lot of members of my team were. I don't really know how. I guess they had a psychic power or something. But Magnolia Masques is definitely something that I'm super excited about when set 12 actually comes out in English, and it's a deck that I have a ton of fun with. So Magnolia Masques has two really powerful effects that allow you to give your all your units on Dragon Tree markers plus 10k power, and allow those units on the Dragon Tree markers to attack from the back row. On top of that, Magnolia has a really powerful second effect, which I like because it's not necessary to the skill like other mask units like Jeweled or Unica. It's just something like Orphis Masques or what else, Zorga, where it's something you can just use when you have the chance to use it, which allows when your rear guard from the back row attacks, you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. This is really good for certain matchups like Willista, to pop the Elviras in the back along with the Uicas. It's also really good in certain matchups like Gandiva, Jet, so you can pop some of those rear guards in the back, Messiah, so you can pop those rear guards in the back, make sure they can't lock anything on their next turn. It's just a really powerful effect. I really like it a lot. They have to commit a lot of rear guards to board to make sure this isn't like a full board wipe. Going over some of the other cards we play in the list, we do play the Zorga ride line. I've seen some pretty interesting deck lists with some people playing the grade 1 Sylvanhorn Beast that revives itself when Magnolia Masques is placed on Vanguard, but I don't like a Vanguard that doesn't do anything on turn 1 or even turn 2. It just doesn't do anything until later. And I don't think it's that good to replace Rancor Chain. Rancor Chain is just really good. Even if you don't hit the normal order discard, it's just really powerful, being able to just draw 2 cards and cycle 2 cards from your hand, try to find your Dragon Tree Wretches, try to find your mask units. Black Tears, so we can recycle the orders we discard. 1 Magnolia, because we have to go into it obviously, and we also only have 1 to remove off Magnolia Masques. So Roll is a really powerful card in this deck, but nothing that you need like 4 copies of. I've seen people saying like you need 4 of this. You don't. You only need like 2 or 3, and in this case I am playing 2 because you can't actually use its effect early unless you have a Sylvanhorn Beast Vanguard, which obviously we don't have any Sylvanhorn Beasts in our ride deck besides Magnolia, so it's really only a turn 3 skill. But the main reason we play it is for that second effect, being able to give your back row the Persona ride as well as the front row. So if you have Magnolia Masques, you can give your back row 20k power. Well, technically, you can give your back row 25k power with the 5k from the Dragon Tree markers. We play our Dragon Tree Wretches, 2 copies of Bist Arvis, and 4 copies of Death Aelith. Death Aelith is the main one you want to play early just because it searches out Dragon Tree, or generates Dragon Tree markers, sorry about that, and also gives you your Mask of Hydrogrum. And Bist Arvis can also recycle one of our best orders in the deck, if not the best order in the deck, which is Mist Arc Habitat, which actually is coming out in set 11 English, which is super exciting. But this card is crazy. It looks at top 7 cards of the deck and shoots to 1 unit card with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard. You call it to rear guard circle and then shuffle your deck. So instantly it's just a +1 from your deck, and if you actually find a order, you find itself off its effect, you can actually add it to your hand for next turn. So this helps you thin your deck even more to try and drive check those triggers, but also helps you find stuff like your Goyle Dotes and your Inlet Pulses to draw cards. We play 2 Mask of Hydrogrum, obviously. Forced Grow is a really powerful double rare in this set, which allows you to CB1 to call any number of rear guards from your drop up to the number of Dragon Tree markers in your rear guard circle. Most of the time you'll be able to call 2, but there are times where you can call 3 rear guards from this, which is really powerful for a single CB. It's also pretty good because when it attacks, you can give your Magnolia Vanguard 5k, which turns Magnolia from a 23k attacker to actually a 28k attacker, making it a very annoying number. And finally, for the last card we play in the deck is the Evergreen Transfer, just because you could actually play the Gratias Gradale or the Forbidal. You can play any of these in the deck, just be able to search Inlet Pulse. But I think because we already have Mr. Arc Habitat and our Mask of Hydrogram, which are orders we want to play on our turn when we have them, we want to be able to have another defensive option, which is the Evergreen Transfer. Then we do play 3 copies. We actually play Rainbow. We play 3 fronts, 4 crits, 4 draws, and 4 heals, and 1 over. I think the fronts are pretty good because they help us survive really big numbers. On top of that, your back row is going to be extremely powerful because of the boost from Magnolia Masques, the Dragon Tree markers, and Sorol of your Persona Road. Your front row is actually not going to be that strong. So being able to pull a front in those crucial moments to give your front row plus 10k is really valuable. But now let's jump into a few test games with Magnolia so I can show you why this deck is so much fun. Alright, looks like we are in. We're going to do heads or tails. Unfortunately, we are going first, which isn't the best because we're playing a Mask deck, but we do open the Mr. Arc Habitat, the discard off our Ranker Chain. And we're actually going to put back 4 cards just to try and find either Magnolia Masks or any other Dragon Tree Wretches. Unfortunately, we did not find any of them, but we did find the Mask of Hydrogram. So it looks like we are going first. We're going to draw a card. This could be Bob's, but I assume it's probably Gandiva. We're going to discard the Mask of Hydrogram to ride, use the skill, which can solve us on draw 2, and then discard the Mr. Arc Habitat, passing the turn to him. Unfortunately, we are drawing into a lot of our triggers, which isn't great, but I mean, we could survive early. He actually is playing Bob's. Okay, because he discards the Trick Moon. He's going to draw first and actually use Name Rakar, which is interesting. He's got Soul Blast for the effective Name Rakar. He's going to call the Samadhi and actually rush us, which is interesting. We're going to take this. Oh, okay, that's not good. One of our Dragon Tree Wretches is already gone, which isn't great. We're going to guard this attack for over to pass. Alright, so he drive checks a heal, which is nice to know. We're going to draw. Pitch the draw trigger to ride, and use the effect to grab ourselves the Mr. Arc Habitat. Oh wait, no, we don't shuffle. Whoops. We're gonna use Mr. Arc Habitat, checking top 7. And this is a very unfortunate first game. We don't find like anything off of this Mr. Arc Habitat. Wow. Okay. We're going to call a critical trigger out of the deck. And I don't know if we're going to be able to win this. We're just going to try and like damage deny to make sure they can't arm any orders. Forced Grow is not what we need right now. We're going to keep the crit trigger there since we can't actually retire it right now. And it's nice to have the booster. He's going to swing for 10 on our Vanguard, and we're going to guard that for 25. He drive checks the Vilord. Okay, so we do draw into the Mask, which I would say is fine, but we don't have like any Dragon Tree generators, so I'm just going to discard the Force Grow to ride Magnolia, and then we're going to just probably we're going to call the Sorol, Soul Blast 1, checking top 5. We're going to add the Mask to our hand just to kind of spin through our deck a little bit. Then we're just going to swing for 14 or 17. So we don't make it just a 2 to pass with 1 card guard. Hopefully we draw into some of our wretches here, or any ways to get to our wretches. No guard, alright. First check. Thank God we got the Depth Ailith and we got the critical trigger. All effects go to Magnolia. We could have still damage denied, but if we did that, we would have been so far behind. And he soul charges and calls the Trick Moon. Soul charges a Trick Moon. He's going to call the Divistia, which can search top 7. He dumps the Prativi. I don't think he actually searches anything. He's going to call another Dishtiva and use its effect for another top 7 search. He's going to mill the spear, and that's all he's going to do. He's going to overdress into Vylor and use its effect to put the Prativi in soul and arm the... Ooh, okay. You can call Oshnia. He's not going to use Bob Sarger's effect, actually. Which is pretty good, so we can save the PGs that we have in our hand. Unfortunately, no triggers for us, and these numbers are pretty big. We're going to guard this one since we can guard with a 1-card guard. Now he's going to get plus 10. He's also going to get plus 25, so we're just going to take it with a Mr. Arc Habitat. Draw into the Mr. Arc Habitat, which is very nice. Before we do anything else, we are going to call, use the effect, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, create a Dragon Tree marker. And then search our deck for the mask. Then we're going to use the effect of the mask to Persona Ride. Soul. Now debating here if we should use the Mist Arc Habitat or the mask. Probably the Mist Arc, just because it searches more cards. Mist Arc, and even if we don't find the Dragon Tree Wretches, we can at least go for something. We do find Abyss Harvest, which we are going to call. And then use Abyss Harvest's effect to grab a Dragon Tree marker, put it on our Sorol. And then use the other effect, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast the Magnolia to choose the Mist Arc Habitat from our drop, put it into our hand. Both their effects will give our... Well, technically we'll give our back row plus 10 to just a roll, and then our units on the Dragon Tree markers plus 10. We're going to use... I'm debating we should use Magnolia's skill. We probably should, just to get rid of those 2 Divistias. Yeah, we're going to do that. Use the effect to remove the original Magnolia so we can pop 2 of those big attackers. We're going to enter battle, swing, and then pop that. The reason why we're not getting rid of the Trick Moon is because he doesn't have a Trick Moon in drop, so there's no reason to get rid of it. Retire that. Gonna guard and intercept, which is fine. We're gonna swing with Magnolia Masques. This is 41. No guard. First check. Second check is a draw trigger. We're gonna power Depth Illith and draw into a Depth Illith, which is very nice. We're recovering very nicely because he decided to not add any pressure to us. Checks defensive, which is kind of annoying, but we're going to swing and use the effect to pop that Divistia. We can use the effect of the shield, and we're going to pass the turn. And we're not calling any of these rearguards to the front row just because we get more power in the back row, but we also don't have to risk getting any of our rearguards popped using Bob Sargra. Okay, Persona Ride. I'll arb the the hammer, which is actually going to pop one of our rear guards. I guess he's just not going to do it. Even though he has to. Ooh, Red Exert Dragon. That's an interesting choice in Bob Sarga. I guess it will get really huge. So we're gonna PG this, discarding the mask. Gonna drive check a Vylord. And they heal, which is kind of annoying because he does heal. We're going to drive check an inlet damage check, I should say, an inlet pulse. He's going to use the effect of his Red Exert, probably. He's going to use the effect to pop our Sorol, which is kind of annoying. And we're just going to take it, which is another inlet pulse. Very unfortunate. He's going to add the spear back to his hand. Alright, now we're going to draw into Sorol, which is great. We're going to Persona Ride into the Magnolia Masques. And we're going to call Soul Blast 1, checking top 5. We actually did find a Magnolia Mask that we're going to be adding to our hand for next turn. And then we're going to call. Use the effect of Miss Arvis, counter loss 1, soul loss 1. We do not have a mask, so in this case we'll just shuffle and put the marker there. And then finally we're going to use these Arc Habitat to check top 7 cards of our deck to find a Bist Arvis. And use the effect of Bist Arvis to counter loss 1. Create a dragon tree marker right here. So then Magnolia Mask effect and effect the trigger, adding plus 20 to our back row and adding plus 10 to our Bist Arvis. So 4 dragon tree markers is definitely optimal because now we already had 6 attacks, but now we have 6 pretty powerful attacks. So we're going to guard. He's going to use the shield to give another plus 10. So this would be 2 or over trigger to pass. One of them is the Evergreen Transfer, and the other one is the Mr. Arc Habitat. Pretty good follow-up for next turn, especially since we do actually have a soul to use for Evergreen. We're going to swing for 20 on Van. Going to damage check a Trick Moon. We're going to swing for 33. Check a crit, giving the power to his Vanguard. We're going to swing for 33 on Van. Check the Divistia. We're going to swing for 33 on his Vanguard with Bist Arvis. Oh, wow. Checks a heal. We're going to swing at the Red Exert Dragon. Okay. Because I was a little worried about that thing being big number. Unfortunately, he can actually pop our rear guards with Bob Sarga. But we got the Mr. Arc Habitat, so we should be able to make something work next turn. Oh, well, he had another Red Exert. Okay. He's going to overdress again into Vylord. Adding even more power. He's going to put the sword and arm the spear, which the spear is going to allow him. Oh, it's the hammer. The hammer. Okay. So retire to give his Vanguard plus 10. He's going to soul charge. Then call the Samadhi. Soul Blasting 2 to pop the front row. Then give him a crit. He's gonna arm the axe. Gonna PG that, discarding a draw trigger. And we also discard another card from our hand, just because of the effect of the axe. The axe is 2 to guard. Well, that is unfortunate. Fortunately for us, over does happen, but I mean, we could still make something work. We could PG the... I'm gonna Soul Blast 1 to give plus 25k shield, which will make it a 1 to pass. Well, unfortunately, you know what I probably should have done? I probably should have done that against the Samadhi. I forgot about the 100 million -1 crit. One of them is a heal, which is good. We're gonna heal the Inlet Pulse. The other one is unfortunately a Magnolia Masques. Yeah, I definitely should have PG'd that one. Unfortunate, but hey, over happens. We still had our over trigger in deck. Unfortunately, that game was not a good showcase of like the early potential of Magnolia Masques, just because we did brick on the we did brick pretty badly in the early game, so unfortunate. But we'll go into game 2 and see how well that does for us. A little disappointed in myself for how I played that last game, especially on the last turn. There actually was a way I could have survived, but it happens. Sometimes you get in that mindset where you think you lost, and then you're like, oh, I lost, there's no out, but there actually wasn't out the whole time. Alright, now we are in our second game. We're going to shuffle up and go heads. Alright, sounds good. We roll tails, so we're going second. Well, let's hope we actually draw into our Dragon Tree Wretches. And we did. First card we draw is actually the Depth Aeolith. Very nice. We're going to put back 4. And unfortunately, we probably shouldn't have put back the Evergreen just because we have a discard with Rinker Chain, but it's fine because we'll probably, even if we had to discard 2, it's still fine. Since the whole point of Rinker is just to find Magnolia Masques. Oh, I forgot, no, we're going first actually. And we're going first against Orphis, I assume. So we're going to draw for turn, discarding the draw trigger to ride into Rinker Chain. Using the effect to Soul Blast 1, draw 2, and we actually discard an order, which is the Mask of Hydreigon. And we're going to pass the turn. It's his turn, he's going to draw for turn, probably ride into Rutus, unless he's playing something like Gravidia. Discard the Mask, which is Rutus, probably is Orphis, but I've seen some builds of Gravidia still use the Orphis Stride line, but it is Orphis because none of them play Halloween Moonlit. He's going to swing, we're going to no guard that because we want the damage for our Dragon Tree Wretch. He's going to drive check into a PG, and we drive damage check into a draw. Very nice. We're going to draw for turn, discarding a Forest Grove because we don't need it right now. To ride, use the effect to grab the Mask of Hydreigon. And we're going to call, use the effect, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. Create a Dragon Tree marker on our back row so that we can use Gueldo next turn and search our deck for the Mask of Hydreigon. Put it into our hand. And in this case, we actually do want our opponent to damage deny us. Just because even if they damage deny us, if we find a Magnolia Masques, we will still have access to our 4 attacks, and one of them will actually be better than if we stay on grade 3 Magnolia. We're going to swing for 10 on the Vanguard. Probably he's going to no guard, yep. Drive check into a PG. He's going to damage check into Cyber Kitesul. And then we're going to swing for 10. He's going to guard with a heal trigger. We're gonna pass turn, and he's going to probably run into Rutus and then use Following Moonlit. Most lists don't want to activate Eclipse anymore, just because they don't want to risk getting damage denied. And looks like my assumption was right, because he's gonna draw and then get 5k. Oh wow, he's actually just going for our straight up for our Vanguard. I think that as much as I want the damage, I think we need to be at low damage for Orphis. So I'm gonna guard this. Actually, you know what? It is 15. So no guard. Whoops, I almost said GG. No guard. Wow, thank God. Alright, this over is gone. So we'll check into our over triggers. Now it's a completely fair game at this point. Draw into the mask, which is great. And we get a crit, which whatever. Alright, now we're playing fair. 2 Magnolia masks. Even better. Now we're going to discard the Mask of Hydrogrum to ride our Magnolia. And then we're going to activate... The thing is, we should probably activate the Mask of Hydrogrum first. We're going to do that. We're going to activate the mask. Checking top 5, we didn't find anything. We're going to call. Use the Mask of Hydrogrum to ride into Magnolia Masks. No Persona ride because he's not in grade 3. However, we do get the additional 10k power to our Goildout. And now we're just going to be swinging. We're going to swing for 13 on Vanguard with our Magnolia Masks. He's going to guard for 2 to pass. First check is a front trigger, which is really good. Second check is an inlet pulse. Unfortunately, we cannot break through. But now all of these attacks will hit over defensives. So this is now 20. And this is also why we play the front triggers, just to make sure our front row attacks can actually mean something on turns like this. Swing. And then we're going to pick up plus 10 due to Goildout's effect. And swing for 35. Oh, whoops. It's going to heal. And use the effect of our Goildout to retire and draw. And use the effect to put in soul and draw. So now it is his turn. And we do have the follow-up. We can actually use Sorol to put those inlet pulses back into the drops. We can use Force Grow later on to revive it. We're going to discard the Eclipse Moonlight. Right, Orphis Regis, and use the effect to put the Eclipse Moonlight into the Aura Zone to immediately generate a Shadow Army token for free, which is great, a lot of value there. And he's going to use the mask immediately. He's going to hard activate the forgot his name, Beyond the Time. He's going to use the effect to remove the Regis from the drop to put the Eclipse Moonlight, which allows him to call a Shadow Army, and now it's going to be a 30k attacker because of the Beyond the Time. This is why Orphis is so scary in set 12. Swing for 25, which we can guard very easily. It's actually good we got the front trigger too, because now we can guard that 30k attack. Because Orphis is just going to be scary. He's going to have triple drive. Which is why I'm not sure what people are saying that Orphis Masques is bad. I mean, he's a brand deck that gets triple drive, which I think is pretty strong. So I'm going to call 2 Shadow Armies and give them both +5. And Orphis Regis gets a drive. We're going to no guard this. We're going to no guard this. The over is out. So it's not like he can just kill us out of nowhere. He's going to check a crit, which is kind of annoying. Oh my god, heal trigger too. That's insane. First. Second is our heal trigger, which we can actually heal. We're going to guard that and intercept with our Death Aelith. Swing, and we're going to guard that with the front trigger. Alright, stand and draw. We're going to Persona Ride. And then we're going to... Debating if we should use the effect of Goildot. Probably should. Yeah, we're going to use the effect of Goildot just to increase Magnolia's power a little bit more. Put it into Soul to give our Vanguard 5k. And then we're going to call Sorol, use Sorol's effect, Soul Blast the Goildot in order to check top 7? Top 5, actually. Did not find a Magnolia Masques. However, that's fine, because we just want to get the Goildot and drop. We're going to try and find a Dragon Tree Wretch. Either one of them will be good. Which we did. We found Bist Arvis, which is great. We're going to call the Bist Arvis. Use his effect to counterblast 1 to generate a Dragon Tree marker. We're going to put that marker right here. Call Forced Grow. Actually, wait, no. Activate the effect to counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, grab a normal order from our drop back into our hand, which in this case is the Mist Arc Habitat. And now we're going to call Force Grow. Use Force Grow's effect, counterblast 1 to call 2 cards from our drop, which in this case it will be our Inlet Pulse and our Goildot. And we're going to tire the Force Grow to actually call the Inlet Pulse. So Roll's effect will give our back row the Persona Ride as well, while Magnolia Masques effect will give our rearguards plus 10. In this case, I actually am going to use Magnolia Masques effect to remove the OG, just because, like, even though they can regenerate their board with Shadow Army tokens, you don't want them already having Shadow Army tokens on board, because then they can conserve more hand. You want them to either call rearguards or use more resources to generate those Shadow Army tokens. So that's why we're going to be doing that. On top of that, Goildot will also get plus 10 due to his own effect, so he's going to be 45, which is pretty big. But now we're going to be going into our battle phase. We're going to be swinging with Magnolia Mask for 28. No guard. We're going to check 1, which is a front trigger, making our Inlet Pulses very, very nice. And use it going into our Evergreen, which is a card that, like, kind of hurts to see now because I'm thinking about my last game, but it is okay. We will swing for 33 on his Vanguard and popping one of the Shadow Armies. He's going to guard for 38. We are going to swing for 33 again with our Inlet Pulse. Guarding. Swing with Goildot and then we'll pop that. This is for 45. Gonna check a front. A lot of defensives, but it's fine. We'd rather see them defensively than offensively with Orphist. Retire and then draw. And this doesn't have a Dragon Tree marker, so it's just gonna get boosted for 51. It's gonna damage check into a Orphist Masques. Then we're gonna use the effect of both the Inlet Pulses, put them both into the Soul to draw 2 cards, which one of them is a PG. He's going to Persona Ride. Unfortunately, we don't have a Persona Rider next turn, but we should be able to make something else work just because we do have access to Bist Arvis, which can get us an order back, which can be Mr. Arc Habitat to regenerate our board. He's going to call the Cyber Kite Sewell just to give him a Dragon Tree marker, and I'm sure it's in his deck. No, it looks like it. Looks like he doesn't have one. Polar Arxis. See, this is what I was talking about. Even though he does have rearguards to generate his board, you don't want him having the Shadow Armies already there, just because that would be even bigger numbers in that case. So I think retiring those 2 rearguards was actually the best play there. We're going to guard these attacks while we still can, because these attacks are only going to get bigger. Gonna boost with the Opart and using Polar Arxis. And we're going to guard with a front trigger. 33. Next up, he's going to swing with Orphis Masques, sending 2 to call 2 Shadow Army tokens, but he's technically going to call 3 Shadow Armies because of Opard's effect, and he's going to draw a card off Polar Arxis. On top of that, they're all going to get 5k due to the Perpetual, and they're also going to, the other one's going to get 5k because of the Dragon Tree marker. So a lot of things are going right for him right now, but we're going to PG that, discarding a draw trigger. He's going to have triple drive, and his drive checks would have been really awful if he hadn't, or would have been great for us if he hadn't seen that crit, because I was just going to no guard these other 2 attacks. I'll have to take this one. No defensives, unfortunately, but we will guard this one, discarding the Mr. Arc Habitat. It's good that we actually are at 5 now, because if he does heal, then he actually can't, because we're at 5, and we'll be able to heal before him. Well, now we're gonna use Bist Arvis's effect, counterblasting 1, soul blasting the Inlet Pulse to grab the Mr. Arc Habitat back into our hand. Activating Mr. Arc Habitat, checking top 7, calling. Ooh, Force Grow is actually great here. We're going to call the Force Grow. Force Grow's effect, so I'm able to call 2 rear guards from drop. One of them will be the Goyledote, and the other one will be the Inlet Pulse. Alright. Not great offense. He does have a lot of cards in his hand, but we should be able to make something work. I was thinking about doing Bist Arvis, or doing the Depth Illith, but Depth Illith wouldn't have been that great in the situation. So we have 1, 2, 3, all 4 heals out of deck, and I'm pretty sure our over is still in deck, which is nice. Oh, no, it's not, because we damage checked that shit super early. So yeah, this is not great, but we should be able to make something work with this. And also Goyledote will get us plus 10. His drive checks weren't that great, but he did take a lot of damage last turn. 13 on his Vanguard. Two to pass. All right. First check. Second check. Oh, unfortunately, our damage checks were not doing us, or drive checks, I should say, we're not doing us any favors there. Gonna swing for 13 on the Vanguard. $18 on the Vanguard. Swing for 23. A front, and then we're gonna swing for 35. All right, and now we're gonna use the effect. The pop itself, draw, effective inlet, go in soul, draw. Unfortunately, it looks like I think we may have lost this game, boys. But that's fine. It happens sometimes. It still doesn't change the fact that this deck is still so much fun. There is a chance that we still could survive because he doesn't look like he has that many worlds. Although he did, I don't think he discarded Auragus. He didn't, but he draw check Auragus. Obviously, he did not hit Persona Rat, or else he would have already used it. In terms of our total guard value, we have a PG, we have 25, 30, 45, 50, 65, 70. We have 70k worth of guard, which is a lot, but oh, he has Polar Arxis. I don't know why he even had to think about that. That's the first thing I would do. Swing us for 30. We're gonna guard intercept. So we take 1 damage, we do die. Like, there's no contest, we die. We're gonna use the effect to Soul Blast 1 to get 25k shield. Probably gonna send 3 now. Oh no, only 2. Interesting. Polar Arcs' effect in his draw. One thing we do not want to happen, like at all, is him to see any trigger. If he sees 1 trigger, then we lose. So we're going to PG, discarding the Mist Dark Habitat, and praying. Oh my god, I think we might have survived. We survived. We survived. We guard those with these. He's gonna swing us with 25. If he had done 1 more world, he would have killed me. Or seen 1 trigger. But he'd already seen so many triggers up until this point that the chances of him checking a trigger were very low. We're gonna Personarize, draw, drew into Abyss Arvis, which is even better. We're going to call Abyss Arvis. Well, unfortunately, we're just gonna call him here. And we're going to call and call the draw trigger. So Roll's effect going to add +10 to the back, and then Masques effect going to add +10 to both the units on Dragon Tree markers. Alright, so we're going to swing for 23 on his Vanguard with Magnolia Masques, because the attack with Abyss Arvis is going to be 32, and both the other attacks are 33. And I'm pretty sure all of our triggers are out of deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 triggers out of deck. So we still have 2 more triggers out of a 5-card deck, which is not great odds, but they're fine, like 40%. Alright, first, a Masques, second. Ooh, okay. Not looking great. But we do take our chances here. 32. It's kind of stressful. Just waiting. Gonna guard, okay. Guard for 33. Swing for 33. He might actually have a PG. Oh, no, don't tell me. His drive checks here. Oh, please don't tell me it's another one. Swing. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Good game, brother. Oh, he left. I wouldn't say nice one, because that was like a really fun game. It went down straight to the wire. How many what triggers were in my deck? Oh, it was only 1. Oh, the over. Right. So we only had 1 trigger, which means it was 20%. Yeah, we weren't hitting those. But that was still super fun. I had a great time. Definitely saving that one. I would have even been fine if I lost. I just don't really think I made a lot of misplays. Just my luck wasn't that good that game. I did make 1 major misplay, but that's something that like I should think about for next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I showed you why Magnolia Masques is really fun. It can brick sometimes, but a lot of decks in Vanguard actually can brick. But I'm looking forward to set 12 so much because of this deck's existence. And let me know what y'all think about my Magnolia Masques build, and let me know what y'all think y'all would change about it. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.